Okay. The Seattle Seahawks are good. And I think it's about time that more of us recognize just how good they are. And I'm going to tell you why they have proven that they are going to continue to be dominant this next year. And I'm going to throw up a graphic right now. I'm just going to throw up a graphic and I want you to just kind of take it in for a second. This is a graphic of the most regular season wins in the last 10 years in the NFL. Now it's got Patrick Mahomes on there. A lot of those wins for the Chiefs weren't with Patrick Mahomes, by the way. I mean, a lot of them were, but a lot of them weren't too. But you have top five, or I'm sorry, 8 teams that are listed on here. Who comes in at third? The Seattle Seahawks. Okay, let's talk about this for a second because there can be some haters. There can be some arguments that would say something as simple as, well, they had Russell Wilson. I'm going to debunk that real quick. But the only teams that are ahead of it is a team that has tons of Super Bowls and a guy named Tom Brady, and then the Kansas City Chiefs. Their common thread is Andy Reid. It's not just Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes took them over the top. They were good with Alex Smith. They were already making the playoffs with Alex Smith. And then you have the Seattle Seahawks. I'm going to make a similar argument with them and talk about why next year they're going to be even better. 10 years, 103 wins. That's an average of 10 wins a season. The Seattle Seahawks made the playoffs the year before Russell Wilson, and they made the playoffs the year after Russell Wilson with guys that shouldn't have been playoff quarterbacks. They're good. This is a Pete Carroll thing. This is a coaching staff thing. This is a culture thing. The Seahawks are good. Look at the storied franchises that are behind them. The Green Bay Packers, Titletown. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin, Ben Roethlisberger. The New Orleans Saints, Drew Brees. The Dallas Cowboys, who can never win a big game, and the Baltimore Ravens. This is really, really impressive, the sustained success that you've had. And I'm going to make the argument that you're going to continue to have sustained success. So you were 9-8 last year. The Seattle Seahawks were 9-8. They had a point differential of a plus 6 points. I believe they scored 407 points. They gave up 401 points. You did not have a great defense last year. Your defense is better this year. Nobody thought Geno Smith was going to be good. He was good. This is a system that works there. You went 9-8 last year. You have the same quarterback. You lost 3 players, Poona Ford, Cody Barton, and Rashad Penny. Who's better, Cody Barton or Bobby Wagner? Because you got Bobby Wagner. Who's better, Cody Barton or Devin Bush? Because you got Devin Bush too. Who would you rather have, Poona Ford just himself or Draymond Jones and Jaron Reed on your interior defensive line? Not to mention your draft picks. Who would you rather have? Would you rather have Rashad Penny, the oft-injured Rashad Penny, or are you excited about your second-round pick, Zach Charbonnet? And then you add a top 5 pick, the best corner in the draft. Nobody's arguing that coming out. Whether he ends up panning out as the best cornerback, we'll see. They have a tendency to work out pretty well under Pete Carroll, just saying. But you added Devin Witherspoon. You somehow still there, Jackson Smith and Jigba at pick 20. Derek Hall, a linebacker outside of Auburn. All of a sudden, you have just an embarrassment of riches. And I think Anthony Bradford could do something for you as a guard out of LSU. Like this has gone from, hey, this was a fun story. You were supposed to be terrible at the beginning of last year. It was like, this is a bottom 5 team. I admit it. This isn't our first channel. We have another channel called Sports Talk Detroit. We've had that for about 2 years. This channel is actually more for like teams that aren't in big media markets. We love the NFL and we want to give love to teams that aren't in big media markets. So I remember when the Lions played the Seahawks and you guys just kept scoring and scoring and scoring. And I'm just like, it's Geno Smith. Turns out Geno Smith's pretty dope, right? He had a really good year. And we were just scoring all over your defense, but you still found a way to beat us. It was nuts. Your defense is incredibly improved on paper this year. Your offense is not weaker in any way, shape, or form, and they just are a little bit better. I wouldn't even say a little bit, like they're better. So what last year proved to me was with the fact of Russell Wilson going to Denver and just getting obliterated. Bad coach, I get it. Combined with Geno coming in playing well, combined with just a roster that had no business being a playoff roster, absolutely being a playoff roster, is that this 103 victories. I just wanted to leave that graphic up there for you guys just a little bit longer. I can take it down now. This 103 victories for the Seattle Seahawks last year proved that it wasn't Russell Wilson won 103 games. It was proof that they have a formula that absolutely wins games. It just wins games. They know how to win. Pete Carroll's a good coach. He's a good coach. He figured it out. Just watch the 30 for 30 on him when he went to USC. He was not a good coach before that. Goes to USC, turns around, goes back to the NFL, and does better what he failed at the first time. You should be excited. Like, you should be asking yourselves the question, can we win the NFC West? Can we win the division? It's legit. You could. I understand the 49ers have a phenomenal roster. Okay, but they have questions at quarterback. Is Purdy going to be healthy? If he's not, what does it look like? And I understand Shanahan's going to put anybody in there and they're going to play good quarterback. You've seen that over and over as a Seahawks fan. But guess what, Seahawks fan? You have the same thing. You just don't get the love. You're not getting quite as much love as the 49ers, but you have a rock solid team. The 49ers have a weak offensive line. They have a phenomenal front seven. Don't get me wrong, but your team at the skill positions, the back end for the DBs, the wide receivers, the running backs, man, I will put that up against anybody in the NFL. And you're putting in good stuff in between. So congrats, Seattle. We'll keep talking about you this offseason. We'll talk about you going into the season. It's going to be fun watching you. Thanks for letting us hang out, watch you. Hope you enjoy the channel. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already for more Seahawks and NFL content. We'd love to have you. See you on the next one.